My husband cheated on me with my mother. Now he's alone, broke, and living in a Roach Motel. Yeah, this one's going to sound fake, but I promise you, every jaw-dropping, vomit-inducing part of it is 100% real. Throwaway account for obvious reasons. Names changed. And before you ask, yes, there were lawyers. Yes, there was a prenup. And oh yes, there was revenge. Let's begin. I, 35F, was married to my husband, Chad, 38M, for 7 years. We met at a mutual friend's 4th of July barbecue. He was charming, tall, had that confident smile that made you feel like you were the only one in the room. He was an architect and I worked in marketing. We clicked immediately. We moved fast. Engaged after a year, married within 2. Life was good, for a while. We bought a house in a quiet, upscale neighborhood in California, had matching cars, took trips to Europe, hosted dinner parties with wine pairings. You get the idea. There were no kids, not for lack of trying, just didn't happen. We told ourselves we'd circle back to that conversation eventually. In hindsight, I'm glad we didn't bring a child into the mess that was coming. My mother, Vanessa, 56F, used to be a swimsuit model in the 90s. She even did some national campaigns and catalog work. She's aged gracefully, too gracefully if you ask me. Botox, surgery, gym 6 days a week, all to keep that same old look-at-me aura alive. She was never the maternal type. Think Kris Jenner mixed with Joan Collins. Growing up, I was mostly raised by nannies while she chased rich husbands and runway gigs. Still, I kept a relationship with her. Not close, but cordial. Holidays, birthdays, the occasional brunch. She started coming around more after Chad and I got married, said it was so nice to finally have a real family. I thought it was sweet at first. I was such an idiot. The red flag started small. Chad started acting distant. More gym time, more late nights at the office, less intimacy. He'd look at me like I was wallpaper, polite but indifferent. I asked if something was wrong. He always said, just tired. Vanessa, meanwhile, became a permanent fixture in our house, helping me redecorate, dropping off gifts, just in the neighborhood. Once I came home early from work and caught her coming out of our guest shower. Hair wet, wearing one of my robes. She said she'd been gardening and needed to rinse off. I laughed it off. I trusted her. I trusted both of them. Stupid, stupid me. The discovery. It all came crashing down 3 months ago. I had a weird gut feeling that something was off. Not just emotionally, logistically. Little things didn't add up. Chad's car parked a block away when I came home early. A wine glass left on the patio, lipstick, but I hadn't been outside all week. An Uber receipt on our shared iPad from a time when neither of us should have been out. So I did what every suspicious wife eventually does. I went through his phone. And there it was. Hundreds, literally hundreds of texts, photos, videos. From my mother. Explicit ones, disgusting ones. Her in lingerie. Him calling her goddess. Her calling him my good little boy. I gagged. Videos of them in our bed while I was at a conference last November. And the cherry on top? A video of my mother laughing about me while Chad was doing things I can't even repeat. She said I was always second best and that she was finally getting what she deserved. I sat there in the bathroom, phone in hand, shaking. Then I threw up in the sink. The revenge plan! Here's the thing. I may have been heartbroken, but I wasn't helpless. See, when Chad and I got married, my dad, RIP to the only sane parent I had, insisted we sign a prenup. He was a contract lawyer, and he knew the type of people my mom attracted and the type of man Chad could become if money ever changed him. The prenup stated clearly, any infidelity on Chad's part would forfeit his rights to any shared assets, property, or spousal support. He would walk away with only what he came in with, his clothes, his car, a leased BMW, and his savings account. Chad never thought twice about it. He even said, I'd never cheat on you, babe. This is just a formality. I bet he's real familiar with that clause now. I didn't confront him right away. Instead, I went into full planning mode. I met with my lawyer and handed over everything. The texts, the videos, the call logs, the Uber receipts. I had the locks changed while he was at work. Froze the joint credit cards and moved my half of our savings into a protected trust account. Sold his gaming PC, which I had technically purchased, and donated the proceeds. Canceled his gym membership, Netflix, and golf club subscription. And finally, I served him divorce papers at a restaurant, in front of his coworkers. on his birthday. I wish I had filmed his face when he opened that envelope. The color drained from his face like someone pulled the plug. The fallout. He showed up at the house that night, furious, demanding to be let in. I didn't answer. I watched through the Ring camera as he kicked the door, screamed at me, then cried in his car for an hour. The next day, he tried calling my mom. She didn't answer. Because, you guessed it, she ghosted him. Turns out she had no intention of actually being with him long term. Once I cut him off financially and the word got out that he was essentially bankrupt, she vanished. Blocked his number. Moved on to her next sugar daddy, probably. I later found out from one of her old friends that she called him her little experiment. Said she just wanted to see if she could still pull a younger man. That it was fun while it lasted. He lost everything for a fling with a narcissist who never loved him in the first place. Where he is now. Chad now lives in a one-room studio apartment above a vape shop in one of the roughest parts of town. I checked. His BMW got repossessed. He's taking the bus to work. His friends all dropped him once the affair came out. Most of them were my friends anyway. I bumped into him at the grocery store last week. He looked hollow, tired, like a balloon someone forgot to tie, slowly leaking dignity. He asked if we could talk, said he missed the life we had. I looked him in the eyes and said, "You burned that life to the ground. Hope it kept you warm." And I walked away. As for me, therapy is helping. Yoga too. My coworkers have been incredibly supportive. My dad's old lawyer is making sure the divorce goes through clean and airtight. And in a weird full circle twist, my mom reached out last week. She sent a message saying, "I think we need to talk. I miss having a relationship with you." I replied, "Blocked. You gave up that relationship the moment you climbed into bed with my husband. Good luck finding someone else to ruin." Blocked. Final thoughts. I don't know if karma is real, but if it is, I watched it do a perfect pirouette right onto my cheating husband's smug little face. He destroyed his marriage, lost his home, got dumped by his dream woman, and now wakes up every day to the sound of sirens and a leaky faucet. And me? I sleep like a baby. Justice doesn't always come with fireworks. Sometimes it's a slow, cold burn that leaves them in the dark, and you walking away, lighter than air.
Thanks for sticking around to the end of the story. If it resonated with you, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe for more. I'd really love to hear your thoughts. Let's talk down in the comments. More stories soon. See you in the next one.